Now I gotta speak in front of people. I know.
At least I know most of the people in the
All
audience.
right. I'd like to call the meeting of Parks and Recreation Commission Tuesday, February 7th, 2023, to order at 7 p.m. Can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, item number 3, roll call. Commissioner Walker.
Here.
Commissioner Hunt.
Here.
Commissioner Cook.
Here.
Commissioner Kelly here. All right. Item number 4, approval of agenda for February 7th meeting.
I'll approve the agenda for February 7th meeting.
I'll second. Motion made by Commissioner Cook, second by Commissioner Kelly. All in favor? Aye. Okay. Motion carries. Item number 5, approval of minutes from the November 1st meeting, 2022. Did anyone look at those? Okay.
I'll second it.
All right. Motion made by Commissioner Hunt, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And then approval of minutes from the regular meeting, January 3rd, 2023.
I'll approve the minutes from January 3rd, 2023.
A second? I'll second it then. Motion made by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Kelly. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Item number 6, volunteer group reports. I'll be waiting for this lineup of people.
Hey, Laura Lessig, 15201 Fairview, on behalf of the Fraser First Booster Club. As I mentioned last month, we have our dance coming up, which is this Saturday. Tickets are sold, and I just want to take this opportunity to thank all our sponsors that have put out their wares to take care of our dance, as well as the donations with the baskets and monetary donations and everything else. So thank you very much, and we're looking forward to a great event. Thank you.
Was it sold out? Is that what you said?
No more tickets are being sold.
Okay.
It wasn't totally sold out, but we have a good crowd coming, a band. It should be a lot of fun. So you're going to be there, right?
I don't know. My mom's having surgery on Friday, so
All right, we'll send you pictures.
I'll look for them.
Thank you, Laura. Anyone else? Going once, twice, gone. Moving on, item number 7, report on current events.
I guess that this could be kind of a combination of the report on current events and the overview of the Parks and Recreation Department. We had our new finance recreation clerk start this past Monday. Her name is Ashley. She has previous municipal experience, so it's been great to have her hit the ground running. And on the week of the 20th, Martez, our new recreation coordinator, is starting full-time. And he comes from us from the YMCA and making the trek from, I believe, Ypsilanti area to come here and be in Fraser. So we're excited to have him on board as well.
So what did you say his name was?
Martez.
Is it?
Martez.
Oh, Mark.
Okay. Anything else?
Just moving forward with getting Silver Sneakers designation for the senior center. We continue to have packed parking lots on Monday through Thursday. For the most part, we're at 60 to 70 people a day, which is a nice turnout. So we're happy to see things continue to move forward and working on building up our programming for Fridays to get that day moving forward as well as we expand our time.
That's exciting, actually.
I have a couple questions. Do you know anything about the bowling program? Like how many people signed up? How's it going?
I would have to reach out to Advancing Macomb to get that. I know the soccer program's been going great. Actually, Tanya, who's our payroll clerk, has her daughter in the program, and they've got 4 teams just in that one age group that her daughter's in, and she's had a lot of fun, and she's had nothing but great things to say about the coaches with LK St. Clair. So we're grateful that we were able to partner with them for that.
Good. And how about any word on an Easter event happening?
I haven't had the time to get to that at this point, so we're still working towards it. The goal is to have something, it just nothing concrete at this point.
Anything else?
I mean, are we thinking of running some summer programs this year?
I mean, I'll have to work with the staff once we have full staff. Right now, with it just being me, I can barely give 15 hours a week to recreation. I can't dedicate myself to a whole summer programming as a single person. So that'll be a discussion when Martez starts what we're going to be doing.
I guess we did kind of go over number 8, overview report of Parks and Recreation. So we'll move on to item number 9, interview candidate for the Recreation Commission appointment. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
You are it.
You're on the hot seat.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
How's everyone?
Good, how are you?
Good. So I'm Jake Rice. I grew up in Fraser. I graduated in Fraser. I played sports in Fraser. So what I'm saying is you never leave Fraser.
Very true. Very true.
But so me coaching in Fraser made me realize kids need the sports and families need these opportunities here. So I'm like dedicated to helping Fraser get that going again because that was a big part of my life when I was growing up here. So
Right. So we meet the first Tuesday of the month. Would you be able to make that meeting?
7 o'clock. Yeah, I've been at pretty much every meeting
Have.
anyway. So
Gotta ask.
Last month.
That's right. Any, do you have?
Well, actually, so I wrote a little note after I read your application. And
Yep.
it kind of just said what she said, what Sarah said. So we appreciate your passion for the city, the programs to benefit the Fraser residents. And it's become apparent that these meetings, if we don't have a quorum, we can't move forward. So we
Yeah.
just like hear what's going on and we could never make anything go forward. So that was my main thing was, can you be here? If you can be
Yeah.
here, then we can go forward.
Yep.
Okay. That was my major question.
Do you have ideas that you want to share or
Yeah, you know,
bring with us, bring with you?
You know, mostly my things are the sports and just like the people I know could actually help the city. And I feel like bring Fraser a little bit of money too. So just
And that brings up a question for Sarah. Sarah, did you ever check into Mark Twain about using their gym?
I've got to reach out to the guy. Again, I haven't followed up.
I actually talked to the principal of the high school, Fraser. He said, I don't know who he said to call, but try to call up there after 2 o'clock. It should be a free gym or the middle school.
Okay.
So,
Do you have any?
oh, I actually have a question too. I had a Greg Jones calling you and emailing you, he said, for like the football program. He said he emailed you and called you.
I'll have to check if he emailed the Fraser Activity Center. I'll see if Ashley has that email.
Okay.
Any questions?
Nope. I think you're more than welcome to come join us.
I appreciate it.
Okay.
So I would make a motion that we recommend Jacob Rice to city council to approve a position. I don't know how long it runs for.
It was to 20. 25. Yeah, 2025.
Okay.
God, this seems so far away, but it's not.
And I'll second that.
All right. Motion made by Commissioner Hunt to appoint Jacob Rice to the commission seat ending in 2025. Seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Motion carries. We'll
Thank you, guys.
send it to council, but thanks for applying. Okay. That was like a mouthful, sorry. All right. Item number 10, citizen participation. You're also a citizen.
Oh, kind of double duty. So, Dana Sutherland, 31520 Schoolcraft. So, I wasn't at the last meeting, so I apologize, but the farmers market, has there been any progress on rebranding that event and/or planning going into, because it's going to be here like before we know it, and some of these vendors, and if we're still going to try to find another farmer or totally rebrand, that needs to happen like.
Well, we
So-
discussed that back in November, correct?
Yes.
That we were gonna rebrand it.
Yep.
And every month we would have an event for Fraser. Some would be offering vendors, some would not be. Actually, Chris and I'm gonna get to that with commissioners with concerns. We were working on a
Road rally.
road rally for like our March, and I'm gonna bring up the.
That, is that for the market, or that's a separate, that's like an
That's a
event?
separate, once-a-month event.
Okay.
So there was it November or December? I don't know. I had kind of an outline of
I have your.
like what we could have every month, and some would be vendors. Some of the events.
So
But
not have a market every month, substitute the market with like a road rally or just,
Well, they
Or
would
just
be
an
different
event.
events every month with different opportunities for people to come out and do different things.
Yeah, for the
Instead of coming to a farmer's market where there's no farmer and a few vendors. Echo came up with this great plan, and she can kind of,
Well, if you
actually-
have my notes. that would
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it just seems like
Read my
we
notes.
suggest
Yeah, yeah.
things and they go to the wayside.
Right, so, you want to finish what you said, and then I'll get into, so what I was going to propose this meeting was to get ready for February 3rd next year, a Winterfest. I contacted some ice sculpturers. I've got Page's Ponies and Petting Farm. I've got other ideas to go along with it, fire pit stations that we have, hot chocolate station, things like that, to have something in February considered a Fraser Winterfest. Okay, so when you say farmer's market, so April, let me see, when did we have, so May, let's start with May. We were gonna have a flower market, so it won't be a farmer's market, it'll be a flowers market, petting farm. We can have crafters there, if you want, but not necessarily farmers.
so then, but that would come along with the rebrand. So then
Correct.
what, for the rebrand, if it's not called the Fraser Fresh Farmers Market, what's it called?
Okay, I proposed Frolic and Fraser.
And then what steps are needed? And Sarah, this is probably where you come in to rebrand it. Like, do we have to trademark it? We have all like the website and all of these things that say Fraser Fresh Farmers Market. and-
We'll have to get a new website domain and rebuild the website, so we need to pick something, because that takes a considerable amount of time for me to
Right.
have everything rebuilt. But I just need to know what direction you guys want to take with it, because that's kind of been out there in limbo as to whether or not we're going to have a monthly market. If we do have a monthly market, is it just changed to an artisan fair? So,
So I mean, if you change it, if that is what you decide as a commission to change it to Frolic and Fraser, then I think that that would be the motion that you would make that tonight to change it.
Okay,
And then it would be, a different event every month. And then I'm going to assume that that would go before council to approve that as well. And then Elaine would,
I don't know if it would have to go to council for programming, as long as
I mean,
it's
at
not a
least that-
budget amendment.
I think it should at least then go in the, that it's happening, because otherwise it's going to be like, when did this happen?
well, I can tell you right now, you can't start this year. So if you want to continue with the farmer's market for one more year, but you can't,
Why?
because things take time. You can't do it half willy-nilly.
Right, but if we're talking, I mean, we have 4 months before the first one.
Correct, but
So-
we already missed January. So what I'm working on is February for 2024, and then we've got a March for 2024. So
Right, but I'm talking about
now,
farmers market specific. I see what you're saying about the events, like going forward, but the farmers market is May through September.
okay,
So if we are focusing on just the farmers markets
May
or
through
whatever
September.
it's going to be named this year,
Okay.
and what that's going to be called,
well, then I would keep it the farmer's market for May through September then.
But who's going to run that, is my question. Who's going to,
that would be the new coordinator. that start,
Martez and myself would be doing that.
right.
So we can't really say anything until Martez is here.
Sure we can, because Sarah is going to be Martez's boss and is going to prioritize his work. So, I mean, you're going to prioritize the work, right? Of like, hey, this is coming in May. These are the things that we need to get done and provide that. I mean, I guess where on the list of priority is that going to come? Like
He's supposed to be dedicated to recreation. So the goal is to do the larger events, to make sure that we're securing things for not only the deliverables that we have coming up, but making sure we've got the parade underway and looking towards to when we need to start booking things for fall events as well.
And I seem to recall us talking about that too, right? Where it's like if we weren't going to be able to bring back like T-ball and, you know, different things like that, that we would want to focus on like the big events. So the farmer's market, the parade, like a fall, like
Fall Fest.
Fall
Try to
Fest,
coordinate something so we're not tripping all over.
everybody else.
ourselves.
Yes, Christmas, and then, you know, then you would have your event like in February and March of next year that you're talking about.
Right.
So, but if we're looking at like prioritizing Martez's work, it sounds to me like when he gets here, it's going to be like farmers market and parade, as far as recreation go, are going to be like two of his top.
Trying to get something for the spring and then farmers.
Okay,
markets,
so like Easter, spring type thing. So then what would you need from the commission? Ideas of what they would recommend for the first market and or rebrand? Because I don't think it's too late to rebrand, personally. I mean, I see what you're saying, that we're working on a deadline, but if all it takes is a new website, I mean, but we don't need to get permission. We can rebrand, create a new logo. I could create a new logo on Canva in like 5 minutes.
I would just need to know what they want.
What do you want? What do you want?
Oh, my.
I mean, and that's, so when Martez is, so if Martez is going to,
20th.
he's going to be starting on the 20th, and then we'll have another Recreation Commission meeting in March, which would give us 2 months until the first market formerly known as Farmers Market,
Right.
you know, whatever we're going to call it. So then what I would suggest, as wearing both of my hats as a resident and a council member liaison, whatever I'm sitting here doing, that you guys would come back with either one of you is going to own that first event in May, which is not a farmer's market, or it is. The four of you would have to decide on that. Like, what is it? What is it going to be going forward? Frolic and Fraser? And then it could be communicated to the residents. It used to be the farmer's market. Now it's going to be this. This is the idea. Like, every month we're going to do something different. In May, we're going to have vendors. You know, maybe Chris, you're going to own May if that's what you decide to do. You're going to come up with your ideas. So you're going to come back to the March meeting and say, Martez, these are the things we want to see in May. We want to see a kids' craft table with, you know, Memorial Day stuff. We want to see a petting zoo. We want to have vendors. We don't want a farmer. I mean, whatever. Like, come back with a wish
It's kind of late
list.
to try to get a farmer now.
It was late to get a farmer 2 years
Right.
ago.
That's
Like,
what I'm saying. So, I mean,
right, but I mean, well then, but what do you want to see? Like, we can talk about like what we can't do. What can we do?
I want to see a flower market. So we need a flower distributor. Do you think there's time to get a
Yep.
flower distributor?
Sure do.
Okay. I don't want to be in charge of that because I don't think it can be done in 2 months.
Never say never. You can get these people from Eastern Market. I mean, that's how I got a lot of the people from the markets before, is just went down to Eastern Market and made contacts. I mean, they're all getting ready for Flower Day. So, but I mean, and then if that's not what we do, Echo, and you don't think that we can get that, what can we get? So then if you don't think we can do the flower market, that's what you want, but we
Whatever
can't.
this man that was hired to do will get.
Right, but then you are
I
the
want him to
commi-
get a flower market together.
So,
You're asking me to put a list of things that we want to see,
yes.
and then he's going to pull it through?
I mean, that's the goal. I
Okay,
mean,
then.
but we have to set him up for success. So you
Okay.
can't say there's
Well,
no
I
way it
can't
can
do it,
be.
but maybe he can, because he'll have a job that he can devote to do it.
And then we can also say like, so you had said maybe like a flower market and have crafters, right? So, we-
Yeah, because there's always the people in the community that want to, show their.
right. I mean, we have a new business in Fraser, right? Was it Sweet Flower and Flower,
Mm-hmm.
right? Maybe there's someone, they have a distributor that they get it from. Maybe they would like to come to spotlight their business, you know? I don't know. But we need to make sure that we're setting specific, measurable goals that are attainable for Martez. We can't just be like, I want a unicorn.
Well, you just said, tell us,
Right, but
Tell them what you
right, but not just one. You can't say just flower market.
Okay, so if we say we want a flower market and get the crafters to come back,
Yes.
so.
There you go.
There you go.
So now is that up to us to contact all these people
No.
to do this?
That would be Martez.
Okay, so there we go. For May, that's what we're shooting for. How's that?
Is it still going to be the Fraser Fresh Farmers Market, though?
Well, you know what I would do? I would like put an umbrella of Frolic and Fraser, and then for May, it's a farmer's market. And for June, it might be a concert.
Well, maybe not a farmer's market, but like
Well-
a flower market and vendor fair or something.
Okay, there you go, all right. If you, I mean, if you were trying,
So we can't put it under Fraser Farmers Market because it's really not gonna be a farmer's market, it's gonna
Right.
be a.
okay.
Yes. So it sounds like, and I mean, you're going to have to make a motion. You're all going to have to agree on this if it's going to change to Frolic and Fraser or whatever it's going to be. And then, I think that that's a good start, especially if Martez is going to be getting something together for the spring. He might stumble across flower stuff, right, during that time frame. Or May has Mother's Day, right? So maybe you incorporate some Mother's Day stuff into the May Frolic, where kids can come and make a flower for mom. I don't know. I'm just literally like throwing stuff out.
Right.
These are the ideas that you guys will come up with. I think that saying like we want to do a flower and vendor market in May under the umbrella of Frolic and Fraser is a good start for Martez. And then you guys have a little bit of time. You come back in the March meeting and say, these are the other things that we would like to see, or these are some of the vendors that we would like to have back. And then you give those specific.
Yeah, we do have a list of what we want each month, like what things are
Perfect.
ideas we have come up with each month.
Yep.
So, I mean,
I think you give the blueprint, right? Because that's going to help him. But like Sarah said, this is 100% his focus to do these and to focus on the big events first.
If you have a list, could you please send it to me?
you had a copy of this
wait a
for
minute,
the
this
meeting,
is
but
a
yeah,
double?
no,
No, that's the other.
there's all of it. I think
okay.
it's both of the
Oh, the
things.
game's on the green.
Yeah.
That was another idea I had. Okay.
So wait, so it was sent to Sarah or she needs it?
Okay, we had it at the meeting. Everybody got one at the meeting, like in
need
November.
another
I can
copy.
email it.
Could you email it to me?
Okay, so hold on, let me put this.
I can scan it and take a picture and email it to her and like when this meeting is done if you need me to.
Let's- I'll email Sarah. I would like a copy as well. Okay. Okay.
Perfect.
So then who is owning May?
I
Is-
thought the man we're hiring is owning May.
Right, but I was talking as far as ideas. Are you guys gonna, so like you want, but you
Can't we,
specifically.
we just can't, it can't be a collaborative event?
You can do,
Okay.
yep, 100%. So that's, but I'm just trying to make sure we're setting a clear path going forward, right, too? So for Martez, it's not like, well, Echo had the idea of like a flower and vendor market for May, so like, it's not just you, like it is everybody. So that like, if Rebecca wants, I don't know, a citywide water fest, I know I just said that in Fraser, right? In July, where we have like water balloons and like sprinklers or
Sidebar,
whatever.
we used to have that, and it cost the city very little
I-
money, so the fire truck would come out. and
Yeah,
nice
so I mean, but
water
like if that's something where like Rebecca was like, that would be fun in July because it's hot and blah, blah, blah. I just wanted to make sure that like it's going to be a cumulative effort and like it's not going to
Right,
be owned.
not just me. I put out March as an idea, Bark in the Park, and Rebecca added maybe having a, adoption, like a rescues adoption.
I know a rescue.
I have a rescue.
So right.
Oh yeah, we
there-
both have a rescue. So that's
So it's not
March,
just me.
like this, like next month.
Well, so it would probably be for next year then, because it's like you.
You
takes
can't,
time
yeah,
to
you,
do
it
things.
takes time to
could do it
plan
in
all this
June.
stuff.
Yeah, these don't have to be in exact order.
No, they don't have to be,
These were
but in
just ideas.
June, I figured
But
if we got to the high school and got their band before they all get out, that's the time to catch them before they're off for summer.
So I think that's really what we need though is like that structured, detailed, like
Okay, and I'll give.
May this, June this, July this. Like otherwise Martez is like, oh, these are a bunch of great ideas, but he needs to know when to plan what.
Okay. Well. Okay,
Is that helpful?
well.
If it's not, just
I
say
know
no, that's
things
not
take
helpful.
time, so it's like, I know things take time.
They do, but I mean, I think we're not under the gun yet. Like,
No,
we've
but
got
it
a little
seems
bit of
like
time.
Not
we
yet, but we're
sit up
always
here
under the
and give
gun.
out ideas, and ideas get pushed to the side, or they get nixed down because of kind of
So
some
Sarah has a
reasons.
lot of hats. I mean,
I'm
not blaming
We're
Sarah.
not blaming Sarah.
just saying, though,
But
like,
you keep
we have
asking
a-
us to throw out ideas, we throw out ideas and they go nowhere.
we have a
So
person now who's going to take your ideas, and that is their
We
sole
hope.
We will use him.
responsibility.
We will use him when he comes. We have to
Yes.
meet him, and, you know, we just can't throw out ideas now when he's not even here yet.
You can. You are a commission that, an advisory board that is supposed to advise what you would like.
We advised it back in November. She's very busy. We will advise it again.
Now we have
It's here.
somebody.
Do we have an email for him yet?
No. You
Okay.
can send it to the Fraser Activity Center email, and that's for the department.
Okay.
So, I mean,
To be fair, as an advisory board, most of what we've said over the years is in one ear, not
oh,
the
believe me, I sat.
I
in
know.
one of those chairs. Hashtag Somerset Park. Anyway,
So that's just our thing. We come up with the ideas, we come up with dates, we come up with things, and they don't go anywhere from there.
this is the goal, though. This has been the end game for a really long time, to have somebody who this is their role. So hopefully
Right.
this is going to be like the fruit of all of that labor and all of the things we haven't been able to achieve in the past. Like, now we're going to be able to, because we have a full-time person that this is going to be what they do. So those ideas won't.
I
No.
agree that we need to have some ideas, but I also agree that he should probably get in his spot before we, like, I know she already has a ton of stuff that she has him ready to go, ready to do for him.
But if we take it back, like, to a 30,000-foot view, what he is to do is to work on.
No, and I agree wholeheartedly that that's, yes, it's his job. I mean, more of a, here's your ideas that we have, we'd like to have this idea, ideally, we'd like to have this start in May. But you do have something for Easter that you have to do, and you do have something for this that you have to do before you can put this stuff on
Let's
your
let him
plate.
tell us no.
Well, I mean,
Let's ask.
sure, we can ask, but, I mean,
But he's got to be here for us to ask, I guess is what
Right,
I'm
but his
getting.
boss is right here, and she prioritizes his work. So it's like if you were to get hired into a new role, and they said, we're hiring someone to do this, and on day one, your new boss says, okay, these are the goals for you over the next 6 months.
my boss tells me that we have to orientate first, and we go through everything that we do first, so I shadow for a bit, so.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
What that must feel like.
I got chemo in my hand, so I gotta shadow everything, so.
Got it. But, I mean, it sounds like Sarah is receptive to this, and it sounds like the plan is in place or coming into place. But, I mean, I know that if we say, like, these are all the things that we did in the past that didn't work, this is new, this is fresh. We have a person coming in to do this. This is like an exciting time and what we've always wanted. So if he's gonna be focusing on high-level events, we're gonna give him the Easter or spring, right? I don't know what we're calling it. Spreester,
And it was supposed to
Bring
be
egg
an egg hunt?
extravaganza,
spring extravaganza, so we've got that.
eliminate Easter out of it.
Yeah.
Extravaganza.
Spring Fest, whatever we're gonna call it. So we've got spring, and then we've got the farmer's market. They're the Frolic and Fraser, the first two events. Like, those are gonna be the first two things, and then the parade, because that is huge. And that takes a lot of work. I mean, he's working 40 hours a week, right?
Yep.
You do that? Okay. So, I don't know, I'm sure my 5 minutes are up. Where is my ding? I've been up here for like 10 minutes.
Ding.
I'm just kidding. Right. I'm just joking. No, I don't know. I just want to make sure too that like we're just all on the same page of like knowing like who's doing what, you know, so that emails don't go unread or missed or not responded to, and that we do all know like coming back next month, like, okay, this is what we proposed, like where are we at? So then you have the list that you're going to email to Sarah and to Cindy, right, of like all of the ideas. Is it broken down by like month?
By month.
Okay, perfect. And then if you have anything you want to add in the meantime, you can send those ideas to the activity center email.
I'm gonna take a picture, because I'm gonna add your, Rebecca, I'm gonna add your comments to
Grade my
that,
spelling.
so that it'll be pretty. What's that?
She said her
Like spelling errors you're gonna
No,
send?
no, no,
all
so
good.
I'll just add your,
Your comment.
type it in.
Your comment.
I'll make it pretty.
Oh, but, so then taking my council hat off and putting my resident hat on, I'm really excited that we finally have somebody in this position. And I hope, Sarah, that you're really excited too, because this is hopefully going to take like a huge weight off of her shoulders, where we are going to have someone who is completely dedicated to doing all of the things that you guys have been talking about wanting to do for so long. So this is actually a really exciting time, and it is time to just set the foundation and let Martez hit the ground running of let's do all of these big things that we've wanted to do, and then we'll fill in the cracks as time goes by. But this is what we've been wanting to give the residents, is something to do and having it be great. And it sounds to me like he'll have the priority and the time to be able to do it, so. Yep. Okay, I'm done now.
Thanks. Hello, Laura. Hello, Laura.
Laura Lessig, 15201 Fairview. I'm excited that you approved and voted for Mr. Jacob Rice to join your commission. I know that it has to go before council, and I would hope that somehow the administration can make an amendment to the council meeting this week to approve him so he can get on board right away. Otherwise, you're going to be waiting months for him to get back on, and I think he's excited to jump in and add ideas to this great discussion that Mrs. Sutherland brought up about the new coordinator. So I applaud you for that, and let's keep this going. We can get a few more people up here.
We still have another seat for you.
You have 2 seats,
I
don't
know.
you? Yeah, there's 2 seats, so let's try to fill those seats. So there you go. Thank you.
Any other citizens? Okay, bringing it back. Item number 11, commission members with concerns. Commissioner Hunt, we will start with you.
Okay, so, I don't even know, was it back in January?
What are we talking about?
We started talking about a road rally.
A road
back in
rally, yes.
January. So I brought it to this meeting. I was told to send an email with the details. I sent an email to Elaine, who's the city clerk, who would have, no.
City manager.
City's manager, who would have to approve it. I put Cindy on it, right? Yep, I got it. And she had some concerns that I addressed. She came back, she said, it sounds great, still has some concerns. I addressed those. And then there was nothing. No, sorry. There was nothing. So I wanted to know, here are the rally rules.
You just pass them down.
Yeah, so here's the rally rules. And there's a lot to read, but I just wanted to point out that it's only a timed event because we can't have people coming in 3 hours after and wanting to be scored. The whole event would only take about 2.5 hours, but we're giving them 4 hours to do it. And she was concerned that they don't want people racing around Fraser. Well, Fraser's this big, you're not gonna race, it's not gonna take you 4 hours. So that was a concern of hers, and I think she was happy with that. She was concerned about drinking and driving. Nowhere did we say we would be drinking and driving. There would be alcohol available for purchase at the end. The city won't be responsible for the drinking. It'll be whoever the establishment is that we choose to go to. Another concern, so it's a road rally, but Chris had, and another citizen had said, can we make it an egg hunt? She was concerned people would steal the eggs. How are we gonna do that? So I came up with, every location will have a laminated egg with a number, or with a letter on it. Every location you go to, other than the questions that you answer to figure out the clues, you would write down these letters on your worksheet, and at the end, there's a riddle, and if you can scramble it and get the answers to the riddle, you get extra points. That's all. So what we wanted to do, we are gonna have this. We're gonna have this either March 25th or April 1st. We would just like to know, would Fraser Parks and Rec like their name on it? If they don't, we're just gonna do it as
We'll
private
do it as
citizens.
ourselves. Yep, we'll do it as ourselves.
Because everything's basically done, I just have to make more copies of things.
You pick a date, I'll get the posters together tonight and we can start promoting it.
Okay, so,
Somebody would make a motion for what day you want it
right, so double check your,
I'm looking. We picked
and a start time.
right.
the 25th or the
Let's
1st.
see, do I have a start time on here?
Thought we picked afternoon, because we didn't want
It
to.
says final destination's 8
It was gonna
PM.
be
but-
like, it was gonna be like 4 to 8.
Okay.
You know, because we don't want people driving around in the dark either. It's basically for older, like teens, up to adults, because there are puzzles to work out. So, I mean, you can bring your 5-year-old if you think they can help you, but, and then the other thing we had to think about was if there was going to be a charge, or if it was just free, but you need to register so that we know how many people are coming to the end location. And then they would either, if they pay any money up front, that would go towards their meal.
Our problem is that we couldn't come up with a location yet because we were still waiting for the final approval, which we've been sitting on for now a month or so, trying to figure out where we're gonna end up at. And we had a couple places, but I wasn't gonna go around and call all these places till we got this approved. And we, like I said, we've been waiting to get it approved, and now we're at this meeting, hoping that it gets approved.
So it's just something fun to do, and, you know, we just wanted to know if Fraser wanted to put their name on it. All the emails you've gotten, so you see all the back and forth about what, you know, what her concerns were. And that's all.
I'm gonna ask a really stupid question. So, you said they're gonna register?
Well, they would have to somehow let us know,
Right.
because I need to know how many packets to make up for the cars.
What my question was, when we were talking about the liability before with the drinking.
Yeah.
Is there somewhere on that registration form that you can have them sign off that the city is not liable for anything?
Yeah. Yeah. And that would also help, because then if the city was involved, then we could have them register at the
At City
Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec's place or wherever, because
Which
we're
would be
gonna have
helpful.
to, if not, Echo and I will just have to set up an email, and, I mean, I have an email address already set up for our little sunshine committee, and we could go that
So
route.
city holds
too,
no,
so-
no liability. City holds no
And I
liability.
I can try to send you
The
some
wording?
language. if
Okay.
you want me to,
Yeah,
that other people might use.
yeah.
I think as long as there wasn't the alcohol component involved, which there had been initial talks of.
Yeah, I mean, all there was alcohol at wherever our final destination was. We were
And you
hoping
have
to
to
get
buy it
pizza,
yourself. We're
and
not
it would be a
giving it.
cash bar. So we're not supplying no alcohol, we're not supplying anything, it would be a cash bar.
Yeah.
And it would be whatever pizza or whatever we came up with.
No.
Well, we won't tell
Well,
them
we
where
don't
the
tell
end
where the
is.
end is. That's,
That's part of the,
oh, okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, I really would like to charge $10 a head just to cover the food and the pop at the end. And then any leftover money.
If you pick a date, we can get the registration form and have the registrations dropped off at City Hall. We just need to know a date so that we can,
Okay. 'Cause- Right. What was I gonna say on that one?
Your dates are March 25th or April 1st, right?
Yeah.
April 9th.
Yeah, because Elaine sounded like pretty,
like, she
Pretty
liked the idea,
excited
as long
about
as
it.
we, said
Yeah.
that, we're not gonna be racing around the city. We do have to
Right.
give them a deadline of when to show up at it, because if they don't show up by that deadline, they could roll in 3 hours later, we'd be
gone.
eating pizza or gone or whatever, and they'd be
Yeah.
like, hey, how come I didn't get,
Because my plan is if it started at 4, I'm sure everybody's gonna be at the end destination by 6.
I mean, we still need to be able to have fun and do recreation events
Yeah.
as a city, and obviously we have to be careful when it comes to liability, but include the legal disclosures, and I mean, other cities do all of these things. I mean, Sarah, you've worked in Bright Center Line and stuff, like, how did they do?
we usually had an indemnity for the city in there so that we're not going to be liable in the event, say a golf outing. It's no different than what we do with our golf outing for public safety. When they try to do the little COPS donations for that. The city is not held liable in the event that you are injured in part of the.
Is the indemnity event specific?
I will look
or is
for a
it like
location,
on
though.
your insurance policy, basically, that and there's certain language you include?
I would have to check with our insurance provider for
March
that, for a
25th.
liability, if we need something
Yeah, I'm
specific
hoping.
for the event, but
I was gonna say if you do March 25th, April 9th is after, that way it gives.
Because then if we know that, like, we have that level
Right.
setting going forward, right? Where it's like,
Bouncing
we're
ideas.
covered.
No, it's, yeah, because April 1st is,
That's like a whole national holiday for me, April 1st, like.
yeah, it's April Fool's Day, and
I gotta pull
I,
pranks all day.
I don't know, that might be kind of fun.
yeah, it might be, but pull some little tricks out.
But anyway, yeah, so when she said something about having those plastic eggs out there and who you're gonna get to watch them, and what if somebody thinks it's funny to take them? So, and how many people would it take to run this event that day of? It takes two.
It takes, yeah, the two of us
Takes
will
two.
run the event.
And then these will be plastered up wherever they go. Because once you decipher the clue, it'll take you to that place where you will answer a question that you find at that location, plus you're gonna look for the egg and get the letter. So, I don't know, did I have extra? Because I was gonna say, I can give you the rules if you want.
But we thought that, we would just have a basket with different colored eggs in it with different colored clues or whatever.
'Cause we have
something,
those at the city
Yeah,
anyway.
because there were so many in the city that I heard that
Yeah.
we had tons, so we were gonna do that. But then she's like, well, what if somebody
Yeah.
steals the eggs? And I'm like, I don't
So-
think people are gonna know where our locations are to go steal these eggs.
Right,
I mean, they'd have to follow us around when we set the stuff up.
right.
I don't think, so
So I thought she was pretty pro for it, and then
nothing.
crickets. I don't know what happened.
And then, I don't know, we were kind of having a side conversation, so sorry, we were kind of doing that.
Oh.
when you guys were
just
talking,
need
but-
a date. If we can get a date, then we can,
Well, she's gonna go for March 25th, but she needs to contact the location to see if they're available. So, can she have a day? Can she have one day to get?
do we want to make a motion for it to be the 25th pending approval from the end location?
Sure.
Okay, so I make a motion that we go for, wait, before we make that motion. And then from the Parks and Rec budget, because we're gonna ask every,
Recreation budget, right?
Yes.
It's not parks anymore. just
oh, so the parks,
No recreation.
oh, good, that's even better. Okay, so the recreation budget, I would like to know if we could have, I don't know, $100 or whatever, and buy some like first, second.
You would need to either give me a list of things to purchase in advance or submit for reimbursement. We don't give out petty cash.
Okay. So if we were to put together like 3 baskets with a voucher and ask for reimbursement,
Yeah, you'd need to provide the itemized
up
receipts.
to
for
what
reimbursement.
amount would we be able to work with?
What we've done with the other prizes, we try to stick around $25 to $30. But if we're charging for the event, that could always be taken out of the revenue.
That's my next question. So we're charging for the event,
To pay for the food at the
pay for the
end?
food at the end. So the people are gonna bring you money. How am I gonna get that money to pay for the food?
We would have to pay with the check from the city through accounts payable. So if there's a set amount that you have to pay for Infinity Hall or wherever to have this, and we know we have 30 people signed up, you would need to get an invoice from them, and then we would pay them with a check like we do any other vendor. We don't do cash payments, we don't do petty cash.
Okay,
Okay, so I make a motion that we put together a 2023 Recreation Road Rally / Egg Hunt for March 25th. And what else do I need to put in on there? Do I have to say anything else?
Pending approval from.
Pending approval on the end location,
Yes.
with a backup date being April 1st.
here we go.
Look at you adding things to
Look
that.
at you, April 1st.
All right, I will second that motion.
Okay.
Motion made by Commissioner Hunt to have a recreation road rally / egg hunt on March 25th, pending approval from the place. And then with a backup date on April 1st. All in favor?
Hi.
Aye.
All right, here's another one.
Kelly. All right.
Okay, so my other,
Motion carries because it's in the minutes now.
my other concern.
Okay.
All right. Because things book up and we've missed February, I started working on something for February 2024, which I will also email to our new Parks and, our Recreation Commission,
Coordinator.
Director. Coordinator. Hold on, Recreation Coordinator. All right. And I just gave it to Cindy. It just basically, it's a 3-hour event on a Saturday. Finesse Ice is at 15 in Groesbeck, and they do ice sculptures. And they do, they got a whole website, and they go all over the place and do these events. And he said, right now, February, I mean, he's booked for this February, but, you know, next February, he could fit us in. And then there's a little bit about him. Jeff Wolf, he's been in business for 35 years. Then there was a petting farm, Paige's Ponies. I've got the hourly rates on there. She brings her animals, the sanitizing stations, the food to give out for the kids, so there's no, you know, it's not like anybody has to buy food to feed the animals. And then I just had some additional items that maybe we could throw out there.
When is that for?
That would be for next February, an event.
But we need to do something about it now to book for next February?
Yeah, yeah, because, yeah.
Is there a deposit? Is it refundable?
That I don't know. I'm going to email this to our new recreation coordinator and maybe contact them. Right?
Yeah, I mean, we just need more information. We need to know.
And he will get that for you when
Yeah.
he starts.
Yep. So,
So these were just ideas. We're not supposed to do it all. We're just supposed to
Right.
do the ideas,
yep.
and then he will go forward.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So that's all my concerns. Those two things.
Thank you.
Okay.
Commissioner Cook,
I don't have any more concerns.
you're lying.
I'm not.
I don't believe you.
I've said all I have to say today.
Mark this day in the calendar, you guys. Because I don't think I have anything to say either. So. Commissioner Walker.
I only have one, since everything else was addressed.
Okay.
So I was thinking, trying to get more sports coming into Fraser. We know I'm biased because my kid's in the wrestling club. But I was thinking, what if on the off-season, we talk to the wrestling club and see if they want to do wrestling with Fraser, so that way they get to have more kids be around their club and get more kids into it, and then they also have their kids that are in the club can do, you know, wrestling off-season and train more.
Only hard part is the location.
Yeah,
Well, I gave you all the information to be able to use the schools.
but that would be more for our own programming, with him as his own standalone entity. I don't know if,
Well, I would
without him
talk,
being a employee of the city, how that'll work with the schools, but we'll have to talk to them about it.
might even be able to get one of the Fraser High School wrestling kids be able to coach too. I was just trying to come up with ideas.
No, I think, I mean, it could be a
something
good
going
idea. It's the
on.
location. It's like, where would they wrestle? Like, how does that, because we don't have anywhere.
Yeah, well,
That's the hardest part.
I know that, well, Mark Twain said that he'll open up their gym, but we're just waiting. You got to call the administration office and go through all that.
So then is that something where like, if we wanted to look into something like that, where like, let's say, obviously Rebecca has that idea. When Martez starts, if she wanted to like bring an idea, would this just be where she brings it so that you could talk to him about it? Or could she reach out to him to like vet through these ideas?
Thank you.
As
How does
long
that
as
work?
they don't have a discussion as a quorum, I don't
Right.
think it'd be problematic to reach out to him.
Yeah.
It's just the issue of things like that, when we start getting into independent contractors, their liability insurance is an issue. We can't be, you know, sponsoring a sporting group without them being properly vetted.
Well, and that's what I mean about just like her reaching out to him and vetting through it, right? Because we might not have all the answers right here, but then that way at least you could bring the idea to him so he might know, right? If we have the insurance, if we have the location, like what type of releases we would need. I mean, all of those types of like things that take into consideration, just so that your idea doesn't get lost in the sauce, because now we have a person. Like a for real person, not like 25% of a person. But it's a good idea.
Any other concerns? All right, I know. And for me, I don't have any concerns. Jacob, thank you so much for applying. We appreciate it. It'd be nice to have more than 4 members on our board. And then I do hope when Martez gets here that we can start focusing on doing youth program at some point again, because I really feel like our kids need to have more programming. So I know that's a ways, but that's my big goal. I gotta get these kids out of the house, so. I think that is it.
Oh, did we ever hear back from the soccer?
No. Basketball.
No, we had your
Yeah,
friend came
your friend, the
out.
soccer guy.
They've got LK St. Clair's doing soccer programming currently through Advancing Macomb. That's what I had mentioned earlier. Tanya, our payroll clerk, actually her daughter's in the soccer program.
I did, but she's just in her own.
I don't know.
I believe they're twice weekly they meet, and then they have little scrimmages. There's about 4 teams per age group.
Is that what was sent out to the elementary schools?
I don't think.
Was it, okay, there was something.
Yeah, I've never.
It was for Mount Clemens or something, and I was.
That's where it's hosted,
Oh.
just inside of Mount Clemens.
So it's
Need to
not
get some
in
of these events
Fraser?
in the city.
Okay, that's what I was wondering, if we were gonna do soccer in Fraser, I thought that was the plan.
That would be where LK St. Clair can get physical location. So they've worked, I think, some with Total Soccer, but it's just feasibility and where they can get access.
All right. I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting at 7:51.
I second it.
Motion made by Commissioner Kelly, seconded by Walker and Cook. All in favor? Aye. All right. Motion carries, meeting adjourned.